The Kickabout with Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
Well, sigh with relief, the gang are back. Woo! What gang, I hear you cry? Why, the Kickabout gang.
Yeah. Ow.
That old Kickabout gang of yours have returned to the airwaves. I'm Johnny Vaughan. The Woodman Gav's here. Our leader, Vinny's here. You right there, Vin?
Woo! Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, Gav.
Happy Saturday, Johnny.
Massive thanks to Toby, filling in for Moylesy there on a Saturday morning. Coming up before 12, Gav, I'm going to crack straight in.
Get in there.
Because there's so much going on this weekend.
Get stuck in, Johnny.
Is there a lot going on? Well, I say I'm going to crack straight on, but is there?
The show or in the weekend?
Just generally, there's not that much. There's a bit of sport. There's cricket going on.
There's good cricket,
yeah,
but it's an international break.
Yeah,
there is an international break.
Whisper it.
The annoying thing is that there's more on that in a second. Actually, I'm sure Gav will have words about that. But
sure,
the annoying thing is, the cricket coincided with the afternoon session coincided with my appearances on Countdown this week, and
sure,
that's what I'm going to blame. No, because I would think similar crowd.
There's a lot of crossover.
Yeah, there was.
There is a lot of crossover. I bet a lot of, for instance, Roger, my neighbour.
Yeah.
I said, Rog, don't forget I'm on Countdown today. So he said, so's the Test cricket, so you lost that one, mate. No, I do.
Don't go up against the Test cricket.
No, but I bought the meat for our last, flat residence barbecue.
He could have at least lied to you.
Right. No, but he's actually part of the Barmy Army.
Oh, is he? What, officially?
Yeah.
What is he, like the sergeant?
No, he is. The Barmy sergeant. He's the daft sergeant. Yeah, right.
Do they have ranks in the Barmy
the crazy
Army?
Corporal.
The generals and...
Yeah, general idiot. Yeah. Gav and I, we got our take on the good, the bad and the ugly in the world of sport. That's coming up. That really is... Even though it's only in the first hour, it's the meat of the 2 hours.
It is, meat and drink.
The second hour, I see it as quite frivolous. I see it as, when teams have gone 3-0 up in the first half.
Yeah.
You think, God, it's going to be a rout in the second half.
That's right, yeah.
And actually you don't score.
No, it's just 0-0 second half.
4-0 up in the first half. You're thinking, God, second half could be 8. No, you just go 1-0 down in the second half. Ends up 4-1.
Yeah.
So I think, what happened there?
Yeah, what happened?
We're looking really great.
Yeah.
It can't have just been a half-time chat that completely...
No, it should be at least 8-0.
It should be 8-0, right? It should be. But that's very much the second half of the Kickabout.
It's
like literally, well, I'd say first hour, that's like going up, say, 4-0.
Yeah.
And the second half, it's ends up 4-3 with maybe they should have had that penalty.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And they were cruelly
There's
undone.
at least 2 penalties.
Yeah.
They could have won it. Anyway, we've also got another instalment of the Strip Advisor, Back in Black, or neither of the two. Mysterious, huh? Here's the Arctic Monkeys on the Kickabout. Happy Saturday.
Radio X.
I'm Johnny Vaughan. Over there's Gavin the Woodman Woods. We've got our producer, Vinny, who he takes a very active role in this. Not only does he whip this sucker into shape, but he's also quite vociferous during the show, aren't you, Vin?
I'm like a little chihuahua.
You certainly are. You certainly are.
He can play in any position.
Yeah, he plays in any position.
Yeah, he does a job.
Like chihuahuas. Utility dog.
That'd be such a funny nickname for a football team. There must be one in Mexico
Actually,
somewhere.
no, they're not. You're more of a... That'd be a utility dog. I'm not sure chihuahuas are in the utility class.
They're not, are they? They're not working dogs.
Weirdly, bulldogs are.
Are they?
Yeah, and yet
what job do they do?
I don't know. Jeff's useless at everything, and yet every year you see a class. He says he's in one of the utility dogs.
Well, I guess he's consistent then, isn't he?
Well, he eats and sleeps. Hardly utility. Let's kick off with the good then. Gav, the new format allows you to do either your good or I can do mine?
Well, exactly, or we could do both.
What do you want to do?
Well, I'll go first if you want.
Or we could do both. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
I mean, I could go first, but you go first.
Absolutely right. So we're on the international break, which I know we're going to talk about in the bad.
You don't know that, but go on.
Well, I know I am.
Oh, I know, but I might throw you a curveball.
Okay.
And not talk about it.
But during the international break, our clubs could all field teams of just keepy up stars.
Right.
But they have to stay in that, what I call reverse scorpion position, where they're on the palms of their hands behind their backside, and they've got their heels on the ground.
Right.
All in that position on the ground. And I'd like to see an 11v11 of keepy up stars in the club colours.
There's one thing you forget, Gav.
What?
There'll be no goals or anything because they're incapable of actually playing football. You may as well just want hacky sack people.
They'd all be in ripped jeans as well.
Yes.
Of course they would, yes.
I suspect they all come from houses with very small gardens.
That's right. Definitely.
Balconies.
And they'll all have GoPro cameras on their heads.
Yes.
To film themselves.
Gav,
Yeah.
my proposal for this is in the international break is that they simply you carry on the season. And it gives clubs that haven't got lots of international stuff. You've got to do it. They do it in cricket.
That's
you
true.
think they stop every time there's a sodding test match? No,
true.
they don't.
Yeah, they don't
It would
stop.
never end.
I know.
No, they just carry on. Same as rugby. They don't have an international break. They just carry on, and it's more. And you just have to suffer. Serves you right for having good players.
That's right. And also, Vin pointed out earlier, we'd love to see what the viewing figures are versus the international friendlies.
Yes.
And the club games where you're only allowed.
Genius.
You're only allowed your reserves.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Because if it was the Arsenal keepy-uppy stars or whatever,
or even the reserves.
Move away from the keep.
but whatever it was, I think people would still want to watch Arsenal rather than England versus Moldova.
I love that idea. That actually, whatever league game's on with their reserve team, trounces England. I'd always watch Chelsea over England.
You would.
Always.
Absolutely
Always.
right. Yeah. Brilliant.
Right.
What's your good?
Okay, my good is that at the moment the Paralympics is going, which I have difficulty watching. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I just find it too moving.
Right.
It gets me so. At the moment, I'm feeling a bit.
Every story is heroic, isn't it? Yeah.
Every single one is, and so much so. That, frankly, they should have the Paralympics before the real Olympics. And I'll tell you why, because it's not an after show. The non-Paralympics was all about able-bodied athletes all whinging and crying and talking about their struggle and what a journey it's been, when they're just professional athletes doing their job.
Living the dream.
Living the dream as
yeah.
rich as Croesus on National Lottery funds. And suddenly you've got the Paralympians there, and you see what someone's actually done when they've swum like 100 metres when they're blind.
Right.
And what they've overcome, or the fact that you literally...
It's a very good point, because having it as an after show creates the feeling of an afterthought.
Right.
And it shouldn't be that way.
It's not as good.
Less
it
shouldn't be
exactly
that
right.
way,
Right. But also, it would shut all those sobbing athletes. I said sobbing.
Yeah.
All those sobbing athletes who are trying to talk about their...
Feel a bit churlish, wouldn't they?
Amazing triumph, getting up early every morning. Oh, have you done that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll interview a milkman.
That's right.
Talk about his struggles. Or a postman who gets up early.
Yeah, exactly.
For less bloody money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right,
So let's have the Paralympics first, yeah?
Love that.
Yeah, let's definitely do that.
Let's make a proper show of it.
And then we've really got the moving stories out the way and the real tales of heroics and people genuinely overcoming real adversity rather than just the adversity of getting more funding.
Lovely.
Do you know what I mean? Some real heroes who we've been saluting on the Paralympics.
Radio X.
We've had the good of the sporting week, ladies and gentlemen. The bad and the ugly are up next. But first, have you spotted the new format?
Format updates?
Or as someone's called it, format nouveau. Format nouveau.
Yeah.
Someone says, is the new format just the subject that you ask the question, have you noticed the new format?
Strong guess from Rich.
It's a strong guess, Rich.
Yeah.
Not as close as we got to 3 weeks ago, I think.
That's right, yeah.
Someone actually nailed it and then decided to mess it up with messy satire.
That's right.
Here's another one for you. This is Mark of Leicester. That's Mark spelt with a C, yeah?
Sure, yeah.
Just to sort of suggest he might be actually called Marcus.
Right.
Or he's like,
Mark.
or he wants to direct films in France.
Un film de Marc.
Yeah. Is the new format basically just waffling on about the new format during the good, the bad and the ugly?
Interesting.
Therefore extending the segment so you have to find content for later on in the show. Mark, cynical and actually incidentally true.
That is right. Yeah.
But not
the actual format.
It's not the purpose.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what I call byproduct.
Sure.
It's a byproduct. It's a cheery byproduct. Yeah.
Like a happy accident.
Like cling film.
Sure.
Or Teflon.
Exactly.
Right. Or super glue.
Yeah.
All cheery byproducts. Actually, they weren't particularly cheery because, well, certainly super glue was designed to put troops together who burn apart in
wounded
Nam.
soldiers,
And cling film is what napalm turns into when it cools down.
Oh, my God.
They're not really cheery byproducts, are they?
No.
Teflon, though?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that poisons you.
Yeah.
So yeah, none of those three are particularly
They did
legitimate.
petrol.
Yes. No, that does make engines more efficient, though, Gav. But again, you're right.
Yeah.
This is from male model Troy in Weymouth. Is the new format saying the new format at any given opportunity during the kickabout?
Very close.
Very close. And a very, very clever rationale.
Sure.
But sadly, a false one. The bad and the ugly up next.
This is Radio X. The Kickabout with Johnny Vaughan.
My bad is that Chelsea are on one of the greatest starts to the season I've ever seen.
Oh, the momentum they built. Well, we've only had 3 games.
We've had 3 games, but already they're looking tremendous, right?
Yeah.
And we've literally just had a summer of international football.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And whoever is now in the mood for more, I just find it extraordinary.
Where is that man?
Right. Right.
Or woman. Where is that person?
Where's the guy who said, I can't wait, it's England are on again.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait for this Premiership nonsense to stop so I can settle back into some more.
Now that we've just started.
Yeah. I guess a lot of people do just follow terrible football clubs. And no, I'm not looking at you directly, Gav. and for them it's a chance to cheer at someone winning. I expect they feel the same up in Newcastle. But Gav, I just think enough's enough. Let's start the Premiership season, especially as now we're all allowed back in the grounds.
We said this last time we were on a kickabout.
We said it every year.
Well, I know we do, but last time we were on, August is when everyone's on an international break.
Yeah.
Do it before the season.
Do it before the season.
Do it before the season.
You said that like such a
Let's do food for thought.
No, but like a geezer who's been doing phone-in radio.
That's right. Yeah. Or speed awareness courses.
Yeah. Let's keep it clean. Let's do it before the season. And then you look like you're going to turn and go, Bob. Bob has the weather.
Well, my bad, Johnny. For fear of needing to quote Alan Partridge,
yeah.
Can I just shock you?
Yeah.
I like the international break.
Oh, because
it's just what Arsenal needed.
Okay, fair enough.
We've had the worst start. I found a stat the other day I saw on Twitter. If Arsenal don't win the league this year,
yes.
They're obviously not going to, but if they don't win this year, this will be the longest they've gone without winning the league ever.
When did you last win it? 2004?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? So I say more international breaks.
No, but do you know what I think is in Wenger, as you know?
Don't. It's too painful.
Trust. And
it's
it just makes me really laugh.
Don't.
All those people on TalkSport calling into the Daily Arsenal with Adrian Durham. And really...
They were saying the only thing holding Arsenal back was Wenger.
Yeah, it turns out actually
it didn't work that way. Yeah, he was never eighth.
Although he never did the Saki move at Arsenal. They never, because they haven't got a chairman that ever talks,
right,
or even wants to put his hand up to it. It's sort of no comment.
Yeah.
Who's the owner? Shh, don't mention the owners.
Too rich to be publicly speaking.
Don't mention the owners.
Yeah.
He doesn't like anyone to know anything at all about anything.
Right. Yeah.
Is that he never said like Levy did when he was talking about Tottenham.
Yeah.
Not splashing out money. He said, I was probably rather distracted by building a £1.3 billion stadium.
Yeah. No, he never used the excuse.
No, Levy has done.
Yes, I know. Wenger didn't.
No, Wenger didn't. But any Tottenham fan who hears that off Levy, just say to him, an American football stadium.
Right.
Just because you were too busy building an American football stadium, waiting to cash in on that one. The fact you built changing rooms that can literally fit 90 aside, something you're not really going to have to use in the Premiership. Well, not unless you really up the squad.
Yeah.
Gav, let's have a tune.
Radio X.
Hope you're all enjoying that international break that I'm not enjoying, but the Woodman is. Anything to provide respite.
Yeah, from the hell.
It's Arsenal becoming like a real memey joke side, Gav.
They haven't scored a goal in 3 games.
That's worse than Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been at Chelsea and stuff like that's gone down, Gav. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about it. But that, mind you, that was back in the 90s, before we even had Hoddle.
Now you haven't even got Willian.
I know. Well, that's what there is a silver lining.
The laziest player.
Oh man.
Oh my God, boys, that player.
But the most annoying thing about Willian is him showing how good he really can be.
Oh yeah.
He does it every sort of 9 games.
No, generally when there's contract talk.
Yeah. It's ugly, John. What is our ugly? Shall I go first?
I'll go first on this one.
Go
Gav.
on. Yeah.
My ugly is that Chelsea really kicked off. They face a 5-figure fine.
For failing to control their players.
Yeah, they reckon it could be as high as 20,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But anyway,
they must be shaking in their boots.
So they kicked off because against Liverpool there was that penalty decision because blatantly James handed it off the line.
Right.
Literally flicked it off the line with his hand.
Yeah.
Chelsea have gone mad and they've really started giving it to the referee, who I think was Anthony Taylor.
Right.
What gets me about this is that increasingly top managers are really getting at referees.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola's shocking, although in the Champions League, he was actually given a yellow card, I think, for like 2 games. He was given...
Was he? Yeah.
No, he was given a yellow card, wasn't he, by one referee for his shouting at the 4th official.
Okay.
Either UEFA has an official there who is there to be shouted at.
Yes.
Like a sort of ombudsman.
A receptacle.
Who's one away from the official.
Yes.
Who's in a booth and you can't get to him. So you have someone who you can shout at.
But he can't hear it.
No, another guy.
Right.
Who's there, who's just like a human sponge. And he just soaks up your hate. Or, like we've said before, you've got to start recruiting referees from elsewhere. Like I say that all, like in New York, all coppers are Irish,
right?
And that's just a thing.
Well,
sometimes there's this big debate about the ethnic mix of policemen in Britain.
Yeah,
just all be Scottish.
All of them.
It's just a known thing.
Yeah,
all policemen are Scottish, and they wear kilts, and they're all Scottish, all of them. And that's where we get policemen from in Scotland, because
also automatic authority.
Yeah, because there's nothing you can see, however violent or disturbing, on the streets of Britain that any typical Scotsman hasn't seen at home before his 3rd birthday.
That's right.
So we have to look to another place we get footballers from. And we get referees from. And do you know what I think they should all be?
Where?
All of them should be former Welsh rugby players. No one's going to mess with them. They've got a lively club rugby scene. That's all you have as referees.
Yeah, they've seen
massive,
it all.
Great big Welshmen.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yes.
I love that
And then
idea.
let's see Pep start to argue against the guy who's played for Llanelli or Pontypridd. He's come to the end of his season. He's fit.
Definitely.
He can really, 1, he can handle his beer. 2, he can handle a little pipsqueak like Pep.
He can't be intimidated.
Right.
Absolutely right. I think that's a genius idea.
2 things the Kickabout proposes. 1, forthwith, all police to come from Scotland. 2, all referees to come from Welsh rugby.
I love it.
Done.
Absolutely right. My ugly, Johnny, is there's nothing lazier than the cliches used by football pundits.
What?
And one of them is taking the game by the scruff of the neck.
Okay.
So I propose we add some new ones of those.
Go on then, what do you want?
Well, like punting the game into next door's garden.
Right.
Or giving the game a wedgie.
Okay, yeah, let's give this game a wedgie.
Or, shaving the game's head and piling beer cans all over its head.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
There's got to be more. We need more of these.
Yeah.
They're not just the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, right. Right. This game needs a solid punch in the head.
A dead leg.
Radio X. The Kickabout with Johnny Vaughan. This is Radio X.
Now it's time for Back in Black. This is radio's longest running specialist refereeing strand. Gav, what do you got for us?
2 quick stories, Johnny, this week. Just a quick one. A quick one first.
On,
this is,
quick,
we like managers to speak their mind about the ref.
Definitely.
Here's a quick a bit of audio from Nigel Pearson. He's talking about Mike Dean.
Well, you need to speak to the referee then. Will you have a chat with him? What's the point? What is the point of talking to him? He's one of the most arrogant men I've ever met.
Beautiful.
There we are.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that lovely?
Because do you know something? Nigel Pearson, one of the unsung heroes of Leicester's march to success.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets.
I know.
If Claudio Ranieri is so damn good, how come he never got another decent job apart from Fulham, which isn't a decent job?
Loads of heavy lifting.
Having won the Premiership afterwards. Right. Nigel Pearson got him there.
Well, I love him
It was
even
him who
more.
started getting them on steroids.
That's right.
Kidding. I am kidding. That is outrageous and not true.
And our second referee.
And also, the fact they've got so much energy in the last 10 minutes doesn't bear that out anyway.
No, of course not. Our second
goals.
story, Johnny, is about Keith Stroud, another Premier League ref. Doesn't Keith Stroud sound like a school bully?
Yes.
The name, I mean.
That's fantastic.
Not him himself, obviously.
Keith Stroud. Or a really horrible 1960s police inspector.
That's right, yeah, Stroud of the Yard.
Of quite a bigoted force who were always in trouble, yeah.
Anyway, there was always a tradition with the ref carrying the ball onto the pitch.
Yeah.
And there started to be a fashion for kissing the ball as a sort of good luck thing for the ref.
For the ref.
No, but it gets worse.
Go on.
So now, because of COVID, the ball is on like a little tee now.
Yeah,
it's on a little plinth of its own.
yeah.
There's obviously another advertising opportunity as well, because there can be a brand on the tee. But what Keith Stroud does now, as he comes out to the game, is he blows a kiss to the ball on his way out of the tunnel.
Gav, do you know what I'd like to know about? I can't believe he does that. Do you know what, Gav?
That's bizarre.
Do you know what I'd like to...
Go on.
Well, Nike make all the balls for football.
Right.
Sorry, who's in the bidding for that one?
Yeah, isn't it Adidas as well?
No. If you and I started a ball company,
right. Who gets to bid for that?
Could we, if we undercut them and make quite a reasonable thing? And also, if you have got a monopoly like that, presumably Adidas are in the running as well.
Must be, yeah.
But Adidas must agree with Nike. No, you do it as long as we can make the referee the assistant linesman flags, and we've got the whistle deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the official card. But I'm just saying, who is in the bidding for that?
I don't know.
And is that open about who does get the right to do that?
It's fascinating because Blatter used to work for one of the manufacturers before he ran FIFA, and then suddenly that I can't remember who it was, but they got the ball contract.
I know, it's unbelievable.
I
think if you've got that monopoly, whoever makes the balls, that should be something that's at least going to some kind of UN charity.
Definitely, yeah. Because why should it be profit?
Every single football sold, if it's a monopoly...
Well, it's great advertising for a start.
Yes, that's it, and that's what's on the ball. The ball is always a charity ball that they play with, and there's no label on it whatsoever. It's a monopoly. They've got to use that ball. They now use about 10 a game as well.
And they change the design all the time.
Don't get me started on it, Gav. Anyway, Keith Stroud blowing kisses to the ball. What an idiot. There's satire like you want it.
Radio X.
I was a jealous.
The Kickabout with Johnny Vaughan. Radio X.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Kickabout. You right there?
Aye. He'll have had a few words.
Super Saturday Kickabout special.
Kickabout.
Kickabout. Aye, welcome with two W's. Welcome to Kickabout.
Sit yourselves down.
Sit yourselves down for another Kickabout.
Aye.
Sit yourselves down for another great big Kickabout.
Monster.
That's a monster of a show. It really is. Joining me this evening, Gavin Woods. You right here, Gavin? You right here, Gavin?
Canny Saturday, John.
Aye, it's a canny Saturday right here on your Kickabout.
How can we go back now?
We can't.
It's a Kickabout.
They decided to do the whole
now
hour.
on.
They just decided to do a whole hour. And just because it's not English, is it?
No, it's not.
It's not English. Anyway, we'll put it this way. I was watching a show in Italian the other night.
Yeah.
That Roma, that's that. Sabura Roma, which is brilliant. I can't believe I'm so late to that one. I was such an early taker on Gomorrah. Yeah. And I was thinking at times, having just been in Spain, there is people making out those are two different languages. They're not.
Not really.
No, per favore, por favor.
It's very similar, yeah.
No, put it this way. If they're two different languages, then certainly what they speak in Scotland.
Yeah, definitely.
What they speak in Newcastle and what they speak in the East End.
Yeah.
That's like comparing whatever they speak in Finland with whatever they speak in Morocco. I'm not kidding.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's just some thoughts here about language. Right here to start his second area, Kickabout. Since it's the return of your Kickabout, how about a returning guest? Football's ultimate Renaissance man, David James, is back. Oh, do you know something? He's one of the best guests. Do you know why?
He's brilliant, yeah.
Because he comes across like he's read a book, even.
Yeah.
He's comfortable talking about things that aren't football.
You remember last time he was on, he was showing us some paintings.
Yes,
right, yeah. Decent painting.
Yeah. Do you know something? David James, I'd like him as a friend.
Sure.
You know, and you can't say that about any other footballers. Certainly not Razor Ruddock. Show enemy Razor Ruddock. Anyway, we've got your brilliant Mexican handbags as well, so that's going to be good. David James, Mexican handbags, catfish and the battlements. It's the second half of the Kickabout.
What more could you want?
What more could you ask? Sorry.
Radio X.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a returning guest. We love returning guests on the show, don't we?
We do, yes. We love them.
Except for Razor Ruddock,
that's right,
we are not fans of.
We stood us up.
Just want to say, Razor, if you are listening, don't forget, if I do see you and I get a chance to blindside you with a completely... Well, the police will see it as an unprovoked assault, but listening to this won't. I will assault you. I'll take you down and then I'll run off. One man I'm not going to have to assault, though, viciously.
It's not necessary.
One man who I'm never going to assault is David James.
Woo! David.
Hi, David.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Lovely to have you here. You are here because, in aid of UNICEF and at Man City's Etihad Stadium, today, 6:30 on ITV, it's Soccer Aid. Boom. Do you get pre-match nerves going into something like this?
Oh, that's a conundrum. Yeah, of course. The good thing is now, in my age and experience, is that I realise that nerves are actually a good thing.
Right.
When I was a lot younger, thinking, damn, I'm getting nervous, what's the problem? And they're not particularly playing well. Nerves, you don't know what you're going to come up against. It's like one of your shows, John.
Yeah.
It's like on your show. You never know what's going to come next. So if you get nervous, it's about the build-up anticipation rather than the fear that it might be something. Yes.
Okay. When you played football as a professional, was there ever a time where you just dreaded a game? Where you just thought, oh, Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I played over 1,000 sort of professional games, so there were the odd occasion for different reasons, I think, rather than just generally being sort of scared of games. Yeah, if you had a bad prep for one reason or another, you can go on a pitch and it's like, please do not shoot.
That's the funniest thing I've ever thought.
I love the honesty as well. That's brilliant.
So good. That's
absolutely brilliant.
Oh, let's clap that in.
That's just awesome.
That's one of the best things. We'll be doing sports radio on Saturdays for a long time, but goalkeeper admits he's sitting there thinking, please
Don't shoot.
When you're dreading a game and just thinking, do you know what, I don't even like football. Have you ever thought, I don't even like football anymore?
No.
Okay. But when you've been dreading a game, I know of certain other professionals who really fall out of love with football. They don't really like it at all, and they actually dread being picked. They'd much rather just loaf around in the squad.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, again, and obviously you know this, when you're so close to what you do, you can. I still don't know the explanation for this expression, but you can't see the wood for the trees.
Yes.
Therefore, you kind of don't fall out in love. I say you fall out of love with it. You feel angry, you feel disappointed in maybe a performance or in action over a period of time. It's not until you get out of the profession as a professional player that you understand what you fell in love with in the first place. And football isn't just about winning medals, it's about the whole thing.
Right.
Like this UNICEF game, I want to play out, I want to keep clean sheet, I want to do all the things that I did as a professional. I know the fact that I'm being able to be part of such a wonderful event, shall I say, that we're helping people around the world. No matter if we lose 6-0 and I'm the worst player on the field, I won't get picked for next season or next year, but in my limited amount of contribution, I know that we have done so much good for so many others.
What retired keepers do you feel are really sort of nipping at your heels?
I'd seen Soccer Aid advertised for years, and I'd been asked on a couple of occasions many years ago whether I'd be involved, and I was like, no, because I'm still a player in my head, even though my body.
Same.
It's been singing from the same hymn sheet. I took over England from Dave Seaman. I then took over Man City from Dave Seaman, and then Seaman retired from Soccer Aid. I took over. At the moment, I'm sort of looking around the ex-goalkeeper.
Well, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say, cut to David Seaman now on a riverbank looking nervous, thinking, where's James?
It is genius, though, Johnny, because if you're going to play what they call masters football,
yes,
you're going to want to be a keeper, aren't you?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Because then you don't have to do that please sub me off thing after 35 seconds.
Right. I mean, would you believe I used to be the assistant manager of the Chelsea Masters football team? And unfortunately, I used to manage it with my manager was Tommy Docherty, and I was the assistant. And we took on, I think it was Fulham. Yeah. And Roy Hodgson was their manager.
Right.
And the doc had a really bad bilious attack.
Right.
And so I was left to manage Chelsea Masters against Roy Hodgson. And we won. No. And so when he then went on to be England manager, I was thinking, yeah, well, how good are you, really? Come on. Anyway, will you stay on the line, David, because we're going to talk about lineups next. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, David James is here.
Radio X.
You're right there, David. Thanks very much for hanging around. We're talking about the 10th edition of Soccer Aid. Talk us through the lineup, please. I've got it here if you haven't.
Well, can I let everyone into a little secret?
Yes.
I love playing football.
Yeah.
I would like to consider myself a football fan.
Right. This is a really elaborate and I would say poor excuse for not knowing any of your teammates. But what? But you've never taken an interest in who else is on the pitch with you.
I would line up for Premier League games and not know who I was playing against.
Okay, fair enough. I've rolled up at Stamford Bridge a lot of the time not knowing what the heck is going on, if I've got the right day.
I think I could trump that as well.
Okay, go on.
Being in the England squad, when the newbies get introduced.
Yes.
And mid-training session shouting to Rio, who is that playing on the left?
That should be a chant.
Who's that playing on the left?
On the left.
So, you've got in front of you, comment as we go along, you've got Gary Neville.
Edge.
Red Nev. He drives me mad. Honestly, ever since he said that Azpilicueta, it's nothing more than just he's just put an arm round his shoulder when watching Azpilicueta crash to the floor as literally Harry Maguire. I'm not kidding, it was like a Section 18 malicious wounding. I'm thinking, do you know what? Gary Neville has lost the right to do impartial commentary. He should basically just work on the Man United channel and have done with it. He's not impartial. Joe Cole, one of my favourites.
I love Joe. My hand was broken in a Joe Cole charity five-a-side.
Nice.
My first break in football.
Wow. Do you blame Joe? I mean, what are you going to say? You might get a bit. You might spice things up with a little bit of a challenge on him.
What, my own teammate?
Yes. So I'm going to take that out on him today.
Schumacher on him.
Mo Farah. Obviously, he's got a good engine on him.
Well, we've got these sort of distance GPS monitors for training. I didn't wear one, so obviously we wouldn't. The top performer, Mo Farah.
Yeah, I bet it was. Because that's essentially what he does. You've got Ollie Murs there. Then you've got James Bay. Of the two, Ollie Murs and James Bay, of those two singers, who would you say better player?
I've already said James Bay is going to be our man of the match.
Wow.
Okay, then you got Usain Bolt.
Well, I'm not sure about Usain because he came in yesterday and the first thing he said was, I saw you got nutmegs on social media. That's not like the best hello, is it?
No, it's not. That is not the best hello. That is. I'd say that's the opposite of a nice hello.
Straight in with the banter from Usain.
Then you've got our friend Tom Grennan, and then you've got Roberto Carlos, who I've sat next to on a plane once. When I came back from Mallorca, I flew through from Mallorca to Madrid, and I was on the same plane.
Bobby Charles.
As the entire
Brazil team.
No, Madrid team.
Oh, Real Madrid, right.
And I sat next to Roberto Carlos, and at the time I was wearing my shorts, and I was able to look from thigh to thigh. I can tell you now, he's got about 4 of my thighs worth.
In one.
Yeah, in one thigh. The only other time I've ever had a chance to do anything like that, a comparative study, I once sunbathed next to Stuart Pearce. He's about 2 of my thighs.
Is he? Right. Yeah.
But Roberto Carlos is about a 4 thighs worth.
Wow.
Funny is, I'm trying to think of the quick maths. Thigh. Oh no, it's 10 letters. A thigh worth.
A thigh.
Thighs worth.
Which brings us brilliantly back to Countdown, something we've both done and both got 9 letters on. Do you know what? I'm so looking forward to watching you all perform wonders under the managership of Judy Murray. Best of luck to you, and thank you so much for being on the Kickabout again, David. Always lovely talking to you. Best of luck, matey.
As always, thank you very much.
All right, lots of love to you. Bye.
Radio X. The Kickabout with Johnny Vaughan. This is Radio X.
It's time for some Mexican handbags. Gav, kick us off, please. Thank you in advance to everyone for sending in a bumper crop this week. We've got 3 weeks worth to get through.
Awesome.
And still only the same slot. Gav.
Here's one from Kathy X of Felpham, the old Swedish regret.
What's that?
It's the feeling of despair that washes over you halfway round IKEA.
Oh, I love that. Kathy X of Felpham.
Halfway.
Okay, what she needs is the old Falkirk foam party.
What's that?
When some mischievous kids put washing up liquid in a town centre fountain. Yeah, and or the Tartan Army in Leicester Square. Yeah. Oh, it's great.
That's from Bez in Hampshire.
Thank you, Bez in Hampshire. Gav, next up.
I've got the old Durham denial.
What is it?
I'm just resting my eyes.
Dan of Cardiff.
Cardiff, beautiful.
He's gone for the old Durham denial.
Yeah.
Funny enough, my son does this now. He's actually got a job.
Right.
He's left school. He's got a job. He's working on a building site.
Yeah.
And when he comes out for dinner twice a week because we watch The Sopranos.
He gets a bit sleepy.
Which we're eternally working through.
Yeah.
And I go, you crouched down? And he goes, no, I'm just literally resting. So just resting my eyes. Right, here's one for you. The old Amazon camouflage.
What's that?
When you disguise the fact you forgot to buy your partner a birthday present by blaming it on a late Amazon delivery. That's from the old Amazon camouflage.
Fantastic idea.
It's really good. It's great stuff. Send us your versions for next week's show. Text 83936 or tweet at Radio X or email kickaboutradiox.co.uk. I've got more Mexican handbags next.
The Kickabout with Johnny Vaughan. This is Radio X.
It's Mexican handbags. Gav, what do you got?
I got the old Frodsham frustration.
What is the old Frodsham frustration?
It's the endless and unsuccessful attempts to re-angle your phone when dealing with a tricky QR code. That's Cheshire Ian.
I tell you what's even worse as well. Sometimes when you've got those screens and you're having to pay with Apple Pay, and it needs your facial, your face.
Oh, to open it, yeah.
And it's now through the gap into the plastic.
Yeah.
I should have just stuck with the thumb one.
Right.
But weirdly, I changed it at the start of lockdown.
Oh.
Gav,
go on.
madness.
What have you got? Go on.
The old Putney Peep.
What's that?
When you have to peer into the pedal bin to read the cooking instructions you frivolously threw away minutes earlier, thinking you know how to heat a lasagna, for crying out loud. That's Pete in Portland. I've got to tell you, Portland Pete's Putney Peep is
beautiful.
It's just beautiful.
I used to work as a chef, and I do that every time.
Do you?
Every time.
You always forget.
I never don't do that.
Was it 35 or 20? Was it 35?
Yeah, exactly. What temperature?
What was it? Was it 180? I can't remember.
Was it fan or not?
Go on.
I've got the old Carrick-Fergus connection.
So sorry, does anyone not have a fan oven?
Exactly, yeah. Why do they bring it up?
I don't know, because there's some people living in the 70s.
I know, yeah.
I don't think they make it.
Argers, that's it. But who's got an Arger?
No one's got an Arger.
No one's got an Arger.
Kirsty Allsop, in which case Sodom.
Yeah,
Go on.
exactly. The old Carrick-Fergus connection.
What's the old Carrick-Fergus connection?
Deliberately choosing the 110-volt socket for your shaver in the hotel bathroom simply for the thrill of it.
Yeah, nice.
That's Jeremy in Leamington. That's brilliant.
Here's one for you.
Go on.
The old Didsbury disappointment.
What's that?
Weighing yourself after the first day of a diet and discovering you haven't actually lost any weight despite feeling really hungry. That's Cheshire Ian. Lovely. The Didsbury. No, I just felt it.
Oh, man.
No, but looking at that, next time I do one of those 2-day diets and I stare at the scales, I will feel that Didsbury disappointment.
Definitely.
And Ian, I'll be thinking of you.
I've got a beauty here from John of Sydney.
What's John of Sydney?
The old Thames Valley paranoia.
What's that?
It's when you've just shelled out hundreds in repairs of blocked and damaged drains, and every gurgle or slight indication of a blockage sends you scrambling under the sink.
Right. All right. I've got one for you here, Gav.
Go on.
The old Aldershot appetizer.
What's that?
Ordering a little something extra from a takeaway to eat in secret on the way home. Make sure you remove any trace of crumbs, fellas. It says
just a few wings.
Little ginger. I tell you, every time I go to Kebab Kids to get it, I always get they do some crispy wings, and the missus doesn't know about that.
Really?
No, she doesn't know. She just thinks they do kebabs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she go crazy for the wings.
Of course.
Which I then actually, I can tin foil those up and stick them in the fridge for manana, and they still go undiscovered. I put them high enough. Send us your versions for next week's show. Text 83936, tweet at Radio X, or email kickaboutradiox.co.uk. Stay with Radio X throughout the weekend. You've got Ed and Matthew tomorrow, Ed Gamble, Matthew Crosby. They're kicking off between 8 and 11 tomorrow. And you've got the leader, Danny Wallace, after that at 11 o'clock. Loads of great stuff all over the weekend. Don't forget Richie Wolfenden's Indie Night on tonight. You got Polly this afternoon. It's all happening. Stay with Radio X. That was the Kickabout. I'll speak to you Monday. Take care.
Radio X.